Well, hello. Today is Saturday, November 23rd, and it's time to go over our weekly highlight meetings, which today is all about portion control. That's the true way to get to the right way to get a weight loss is portion control. Start off with the bad news. I had a gain. I had a bigger gain than I thought. I thought I was going to have a small gain because my pattern is, see, I'm going to start off right away making excuses. But my pattern is to lose a really good amount of weight and then the next week gain, and I don't understand why. So just to give you an example, I did a 7-week try thing to look. The first week I lost 1.7, and then I followed that by a 2.2 pound gain. And then I followed that with a 3.5 pound loss, and then the next week I had a 0.7 gain. And then I followed it with a 3.7 loss, and then I had a 1.9 gain. And then I followed that with a 3.9 loss, and I had a 1.9 gain today. So I don't know what my body's doing. If you don't watch my daily vlog, you do. I am I'm in the process now. I went for my physical on Friday. No, a week ago Friday, and something came up in my blood work that shows that I have an underactive thyroid. I think it's underactive or overactive. Well, I'm having a problem with my thyroid. So I had to go back for repeat tests this week to test it out to see what's going on with that. And because of the holidays next week, it might take another week. She said I might get the results next week, but it might be the week after Thanksgiving to figure that out. So that's the only thing I could think of because I was pretty much on plan all week. I switched to the purple plan, and it worked really well for me the first week. I lost 3.9. This week, not so much. I gained 1.9. But I look at it in the whole scheme of things. In the last 2 weeks, I've lost 2 pounds. You gotta. I look at it the fact that I take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and then 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Well, you know, I am going to get there, like Mother May I, or Red Light, Green Light. Remember playing those games when you were younger? Well, some of you might not remember, but Red Light, Green Light, and Mother May I. Mother May I used to say you can take 5 steps forward, and then they'd say now take 3 steps backwards. You know, so you never really got ahead because you got ahead, but it was slow moving, and that's what my journey is, slow moving. But as long as I don't quit, I'll be fine, and I have no intentions of quitting. So with all of that being said, in the nut rut, 3 minutes later, I'm going to show you that I did have a gain of 1.9. So now my weight is 225, and I'm at 79.2 for a total loss. But today is a new day. It's a new start of my new week. I'm going to have positive vibes. I'm going to do it 1 pound at a time, which is what I'm doing, and I'm going to think good thoughts. That's what you have to do. You just have to look at it the whole scheme of things. I am not 20 years old anymore. When I was in my 20s, I could lose 5-6 pounds a week. I could do really well. Even when I was in my 30s, I did really well. But the older you get, the slower your metabolism goes. That doesn't mean you can't lose weight. You can lose weight. It's just a little bit slower, and it takes a little bit more effort. And I'm not quitting. I'm just not quitting. But anyway, we're going to talk about find the right portion sizes for you. The quote, I love this quote. It's not what you know. It's what you do with what you know. It's what you do with what you know. You know, I know that I'm going to have problems losing weight every week. That's not to say that it can't be done. I have to use a little bit more effort into it. I have to strive a little bit harder, knowing my pattern. And I've learned about myself that this is how my body reacts, and so I don't react to it in a negative way. I'm not going to go binging on food today just because I had a gain, because this is how my body works. I know this is how my body works. 3 years ago, before I started Weight Watchers, I might go on a diet for a week or two and then have a pattern like this and think, you know, what's the point? What is the point? And then just go crazy. And I've learned over the time that this is how my body reacts. And you have to know your own body. Everybody's body is different. And they all react. Some people can lose weight without exercise. Some people have to exercise. Some people can just cut back on a few foods, and some people have to make drastic changes. You have to know what works for your body. And no matter what size body you have, portion control is always very important. So one of the most important techniques when it comes to weight loss is portion control. How many of us so far have just kind of eyeballed it? I'm one of them people. I kind of eyeball it, but I bought some. Jim and I went shopping today, and I bought something. I'll be right back. I'm going to show it to you. We were just like shopping around, just looking for stuff, Christmas stuff to put out in that. And then I came across, I just rinsed it out so it's a little wet, this little cup, this little, like a little bit bigger than a shot glass. But what I like about this, which is going to keep me more on track, it measures in milliliters, tablespoons, teaspoons, and ounces. So I don't know if you can see. I don't know if that's kind of hard to see, but anyway, it has all the different things. So this is going to keep me on track. When it says like you can have 2 tablespoons of dressing, let's say. I always use the measuring spoons, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'm a little heaping with the measuring spoons. But this has got a line right there. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of hard to see. 2 tablespoons. So if I put my dressing in and just go up to that line, then I know I have a true measure of 2 tablespoons. It even has teaspoons, and even if it something says ounces in that, this has even got like a 1/4 cup. So I mean, this one goes all the way up to where did I see the 1/4 cup? Did I look at that wrong? I think I looked at that wrong. No, 1/4 cup. Okay. And then a 1/2 cup. Okay. But this is going to help me. This is going to help me tremendously. So portion sizes. Don't eyeball anymore. Get a scale out. I have a scale. I'm going to start weighing my stuff again. Sometimes if it says 28 grams or 19 pieces, let's say pretzels, if you put it on the scale, sometimes some of those pretzel pieces are a little lighter and you might get 20. Not that 2 extra pretzels are any good, but you know what? Get a true portion size and enjoy it. And finding portions that are right for you can be difficult to master, and sometimes it takes a lot of practice. It does. But unfortunately, I think I've had enough practice that I can just eyeball things. I can't do that anymore. I can't eyeball things. I have to get out my measuring cups. I'm going to start using this. It was $1.97 at Menards. I'm sure you could probably get it for $1 at the dollar store, but we were at Menards, and so we paid the $1.97. And I think that this is going to be like $1 million gift for me, because I think that's what I need. I need something like that. A true measurement. Like even if I'm going to have peanut butter, sometimes I put the peanut butter on the thing. It's a little scooped. Look at my hair. It's a little high over, like a little heaping. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not, because it's just not worth it. You have to find what's right for you portions. If you know that if you go like a little teaspoon over a tablespoon, that it's going to add ounces onto your body, don't do that. Find the right portion size. Look them up. Find out what a portion size is. Learn to read the labels on the packaging. Sometimes, like when you buy those little rice things, the Uncle Ben's, the 90-second microwave ones. Okay, I found this out too. It says 1 cup per serving, and there's 2 servings in the package. But when I measured it out, it really wasn't 2 cups. It was like 1.5 cups. So it's really, that's just an example. We should start with the thing. I'm trying to get ahead of myself, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. Oh, people at the meeting were complaining about the size of the book. Look how big it is. They were all complaining. So they said that they kind of agree that, in a way I understand, but I don't fill out the other side. I don't really reflect back. I don't really take notes from my workshop, other than in my book. I take notes in my book here, but I'm not a big fan of the big book either. I like the little one much better, but go with the flow. You can't always go up. Sometimes you just got to go even and just move along. So let's find the right for you portions. First, let's just say this. Portions are personal. The portion size that's right for you depends on what you're eating and how much you need to feel satisfied while staying within your Smart Point budget. The best way to learn the amount is to do some measuring. Start with portions of the foods with the Smart Points you eat most often. With that, take time. You'll train your brain to serve up the right amount automatically. I am pretty close. I still go a little bit over, but I still am pretty close. A lot closer than I was before. You know, like I could say, oh, that looked like half a cup of potatoes. Now I know that my half a cup in the past was really like a cup and a half. It really wasn't a half a cup. But I've learned what kind of looks like. But I'm going to get back to, because I want to lose weight a little bit better than I am, so I need to do a little bit more portion control. Number one thing you want to do is serve yourself. What's your typical portion? Whatever it is, dish it out. So they give an example of putting your usual amount, which you would have normally had, on your plate. Don't measure it. Just put it on your plate. This is how much I want. This is how much mashed potatoes. A good thing for Thanksgiving, which is coming up on Thursday. Put your potatoes on your plate. Put your stuffing. Put all of your stuff on your plate. And then measure it out afterwards, after you've already put it on your plate. And track it that way. And then you'll get a true scale of how many points you're actually consuming. And you'll get a true idea of how much food you're actually consuming. And when you're done, if you don't eat all of it, measure it out again. I know it's a lot of work for a holiday. And you don't necessarily have to do this on a holiday. I wouldn't suggest doing it on a holiday. I would suggest doing it on a regular day of the week when you're eating. And because the holiday's coming up pretty quick. But you know, if you're having mashed potatoes, put your normal portion on your plate and then figure out, is this how much it is? And then you'll know. Number two is size it up. Measure or weigh that portion using cups or a scale. Now you know how much you're actually eating. I swear by my scale. I have an E-Tech City scale that I use. It's very accurate. It does milliliters, grams, ounces, pounds. It's and it's really true, and it's very easy to use. I don't have a link to the thing, but if you look on Amazon, there are so many different scales that you can find one that's right for you. Always have your measuring cups, have your measuring spoons, have them handy. Don't have them like like I have storage things in my laundry room because I have cupboards in my laundry room. That's a little bit out of the way. I have my measuring cups, open up the cupboard, they're right there. Number three is track it. Use your Weight Watchers app to find the Smart Points value. You can always use the little barcodes up in the corner, on the top right-hand corner. You put on that and you just scan the product, and for the most part, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be on their list. If you're at a restaurant and the particular, there's an app on your app, you can scroll down to restaurants and figure out what you're eating at the restaurant. If your restaurant that you're going to isn't on there, go to a restaurant that you think serves something close, similar, not the same, but close, and kind of get a gauge from that. I love fish and chips, and the place I go, their fish and chips aren't listed on the menu, but I've looked at other sites that have fish and chips, and they're pretty much within the same range. They go anywhere from 55 to 70. So I always figure the 70 because I'm always going to figure at the higher end. You can't go wrong if you go at the higher end. Number four, decide what works. Does this portion work well within your budget? Remember that you can bulk up any meal or snack with your 0-point foods. You can have a little bit less pasta. I have tried the spaghetti squash, which is very good. You put your sauce over the spaghetti squash, and it's not spaghetti. I'll tell you, it is not spaghetti. So don't go into it thinking, oh, this tastes just like spaghetti. No, it does not. I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't taste like it. But it's very good. It really is very good. But if you want the pasta, figure it into your points. Measure it out. Have it and enjoy it. Track it and then move on. But try to eat like a bigger salad on the side so you don't have to eat as much pasta. You can always make arrangements with different things. If you like different food items that are points on your particular plan, just build up that meal around all the other 0-point foods to fill you up. On Thanksgiving, I am going to have stuffing. That is my favorite. I am going to have mashed potatoes because I love mashed potatoes. Where I'm fortunate is I'm not a big gravy fan. And I like my potatoes with just a little bit of pepper, salt and pepper on it. I'm fine with that. But the stuffing, bread, and more bread. But I'm going to have it. But in my family, we eat a lot of vegetables. So I am going to have a wide variety of choices of vegetables to put around the plate. So my turkey's going to be 0. And then I have a choice. In my family, we have carrots, we have green beans, we have corn, we have peas, we have squash. We have butternut squash this year we're going to have. We have cauliflower, we have broccoli. So all of those are 0 points. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on the broccoli, so that's going to be some points I'm going to have to use. And the stuffing's going to be points, and the potatoes are going to be points. I'm not a big fan of the desserts for Thanksgiving, the traditional desserts, so I'm going to be fortunate in that regard. But I'm still going to enjoy the day, realize it's a holiday, not a holidays. It's just one day. It's a holiday. And you also have to remember that there are probably 10 days throughout the year that you're going to kind of overeat. Your birthday, an anniversary, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, things like that. You are going to tend to go overboard a little bit. But there's 365 days of the year. If you're pretty good, the other 355, you can splurge a little on that one day. But realize it's just one day, one meal, hopefully. And well, some people have to go to have 2 Thanksgiving meals. One day, just figure out, have low points for breakfast, eat your turkey feasts, have it, enjoy it, and then Friday get right back on track. I'm fortunate that I have weeklies today that came on for 42. I can roll over 4 a day, so I can build up some points to kind of compensate a little bit for my meal on Thursday. But next Saturday is my losing week. See, in my mind, I was looking ahead. I had a gain this week, so that means I got to have a loss next week. I know that's not how it always works, but that's how I'm hoping it's going to work this week. We'll see. But anyway, just always remember the portion sizes. And I want to remind you of the quote, because I really like the quote. Let me see if I can find it again. It's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. And just remember, if you know that things are going to give you a hard time, make adjustments for it, make allowances for it, go around it. The recipe is for chicken broccoli and tortellini soup. I made a soup pretty similar to this, and I'm going to put a link to the recipe that I did. It's in my recipe section, but I did it a couple weeks ago. But mine is a Tuscan chicken tortellini soup, so it's a little bit different than this. I'll put the menu on there. I'll put the recipe rather at the end of the video for this one. But if you wanted to see how I did it, go to the link down below and go over to the recipe and see, because it was very good, and Jim loved it. See, he wouldn't eat this one because there's broccoli in it, but he ate the other soup and he thought it was very good. And Jim is not on WW, so that's so anyway. Remember that we're gonna find the right for you portions, and next week I'll have a loss. I'm going to have a nice Thanksgiving. I hope all of you have a nice Thanksgiving, and hopefully this video helped you out. So give this video a like. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Leave a comment, and if you think somebody might find some interest in this, please share it. So I'll see you on my daily vlog.